Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a recap of our summer school and how everything went. So if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, so at the beginning of the summer, I put out kind of how our summer school usually looks, or kind of my goals for what our summer school is going to be like this summer. So I'll try to remember to link that video down below. So if you want to kind of remember, I'll go over it a little bit here, but not super in depth. And then, yeah, we're just gonna go through. I'm gonna tell you what we actually got done because usually it doesn't match what my goals are. Especially being super pregnant and not feeling good most of the time. Right now I'm like days away from having a baby. And so it's July 31st and I told my kids, I told myself, we're taking August off because we're having a baby. And we usually start school right after Labor Day anyway, in September. And normally we'll take like the whole month of June off from school. But I shifted it this year since I knew we were having a baby. So we did school June, July, and taking all of August off. So that's where we're at. We're stopping school right now. And then we'll take a break. My husband's like, that's what our kids think. He'll probably get them to do math just because it's super fun. We love doing math around here, so they still might do some of that. But to start off, I guess, since I am already talking about math, they did do their math and language arts. We didn't always do it twice a week. It was kind of the goal to do Tuesday, Thursdays as school days. And some weeks that works better than others, just kind of depending on our schedule. My kids did a few summer like activities with track and tennis and things like that. And so certain things made it a little bit harder to always stick to that schedule. But they did work through some of their schoolwork that way, and my 6-year-old finished Math 1. So she's going into first grade. But again, we love math. And so she finished this book, and I think we've only gotten to one lesson in her Math 2 book because she just barely finished this. And the last few weeks have been a little bit crazy. So she finished that book, which was very exciting, and she was like, can we go? Can we do more lessons? Because I really want to finish it. And then we've been doing some language arts. Again, nothing that's super crazy or super intensive, just kind of to keep things a little bit fresh in their mind. So when we start full-blown school back in September, they're not completely blank and don't know what's going on. And then we also worked on some different science things. So at the beginning of the summer, we did maturation. This is from The Good and the Beautiful, and I believe they're coming out with a new one. That's what I've seen. I'm not sure when it's supposed to come out. I don't have the inside track on those things, but I'm pretty sure it's coming soon that they're doing a new one, like a puberty one. And so this one I enjoyed. It's very like kind of short and sweet, I guess. And it's always interesting to talk with kids about these things, and it's always hilarious. And those that get it, they're just like, what the heck are you talking about? That's gross. And just all the things about maturing and going through puberty and having babies, because it goes through having babies here. So that was a fun unit for them too, to like, oh, mom's pregnant right now, and this is what the baby's like, and all these things. So that was fun for them to go through. But then other things, they're just like, that's gross. But then it also has like hygiene at the very end. I didn't make like kits for my kids. It's really only my oldest that he's 11. That I have a 10-year-old, so maybe next year or in the next few years I'll do it more, but they have options for putting together a kit that has deodorant, toothpaste, like feminine hygiene products, all that kind of stuff. And it has a good list for if you wanted to do something for them like that, something kind of special that's like, here you go, this is all your kind of stuff going into that. So I enjoyed using this. It'll be interesting to see what's different in the new one. I like the new Good and the Beautiful units because they all have come with like student workbooks. So I don't know if that's the plan also for the puberty one, but we did that. And then we got through most of botany. This, I didn't really look through it before, which maybe I should have, but I still think it's good because I feel like this is a unit you could do over and over again, and it just always be a little bit different and really fun because there's so many activities here. All the other units that we have done, even the newer ones, did not have this many like hands-on activities. And there's also a lot of microscope activities. We don't have a microscope, so we just skip those. Like, it's easy just to kind of skip and do what you have. But it had so many opportunities for using the microscope, for comparing different things, having your kids find different things in nature, or like one of them I think was comparing a nail to some other different types of cells. And so you put them, you know, under the microscope and look at them. So I feel like in the future that would be really fun. It'd be fun to do this again and to be able to go through all that kind of stuff, you know, when we have a microscope to do it. But we didn't, and I wasn't, you know, I don't feel great during pregnancy, so I wasn't doing anything super crazy. I just wanted us to keep learning. But then there's almost always some other type of activity. So this one has an activity, like you plant flowers at the beginning of the unit. We planted sunflowers, and I didn't know, I didn't read clearly that they wanted 4 flowers, that they'd later like kill some of them. Because I have 4 kids that do this, so we just had them each have their 4 flowers. So then when it came time to assign, like this one gets water and sun, and this one gets sun and no water, and this one gets no sun and no water, they were kind of sad that some of their plants had to die. And so instead of just being like, these are just 4 plants, they're nobody's plants, we're just using them for an experiment. But they would look at them every time we did science and see how they were growing. They were all very, very excited. So there was ones where they put them on the window and watch the seeds so you could see what was happening. You know, you can't see under the ground what's happening. So the ones on the window kind of help you see what the roots are doing under the ground. And then they also planted them in cups, some sunflower seeds. And my son's is huge. It's not his, but it was originally his. His is the one that got all the sun and water, and now his is getting quite big. So there's just so many activities in here. I did not even realize. And I think, where did we get? I think we had 4 lessons left. There's 13, and there was 4 lessons left, and we didn't even go into all the things that you could have. And there's a game that comes with this that we didn't play. Like I said, we'll probably do it again next year, just because I feel like there are so many fun things that could be done with this. And the journals are great. They had so many things in here, and this also has the microscope in here. There's a leaf. So she glued one of the leaves in here. But yes, for the microscope lab, so what you can see and then talk about it. So there's so many great things. I love this, and I wish, first of all, that I knew more about botany, because I don't. I have friends that do, but I'm not one of those like super sciencey people that way. And so I wish I knew more about it that way, but it also just had so many great things that you could do with it, which makes it easy to use it again, because you could do different activities every single time. And then my original plan for read alouds was to finish reading our books this was from our science unit before, because we just finished The Good and the Beautifuls. It's not called anatomy, but it's the human body basically. And so we were reading through these sassafras books because my kids just think they're super fun to read. And so we were going through this, but we are not even halfway. We're about a third of the way, I guess. And then this was going along with The Good and the Beautiful's history curriculum, and we're about a third away through this one too. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just use the summer and finish reading these. And that didn't happen. I just wasn't motivated enough to read them. So we started reading Holes. And we just started this a few weeks ago, but we're probably already making better progress on it than we would have on these other 2 books. And so this is something I actually plan to keep reading once the baby's born. It's something easy that I could sit on the couch and read to them while taking care of the baby and stuff. And they're like, I want to read it. And we haven't read it in a while because my son was gone at boys camp for almost a week. And so we couldn't read it while he was gone. But then they found out there's a movie. So they're like, they want to read the book and then they want to see the movie. So anyway, we already had this book and I'd wanted to read it to him for a while. So it's fun reading it. I didn't read the book growing up. I think my husband did. And so I just have the movie in my head with all of it. But so far it's been really like fun to go through it with them. So there's that. That's kind of what happened with our read aloud. Again, things change, or things don't work out or I'm just not motivated to do them. So, and then I wanted to mention Duolingo. My oldest is using it for Japanese. He still does Japanese like lessons, and it has helped him so much. Like my husband knows a little bit of Japanese as well, but he'll watch my son play Duolingo and is like, I can't believe how fast he is. Like he just knows exactly what everything is and how he's learning it so well. So that's been going really well. And then my 6-year-old has been doing the Duolingo. They have like an ABC or language arts kind of one, because my husband does 100 easy lessons with her, and her reading has gotten much better over the course of the summer. She still has a ways to go. She was a little bit behind. I don't like to call it that, you know, not where a typical first grader would be, but it doesn't worry me at all. She'll get there when she's ready to get there, and she's already made a lot of progress over the summer. But my husband, I was asking him about that because he's the one that does all that with her. And he said that it's good. He likes it as a review. She gets to like write the letters with her finger. And you know, it's a good like reminder of stuff she's just studied, or to keep her mind fresh on her ABCs. But then in the 100 Easy Lessons book, they do reading comprehension, but also on the app, they do reading comprehension. So it's really good, like it's a good focus. He really likes that they focus on that as well, because reading comprehension is hard. So that she gets it both places has been really nice. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is our summer reading. We do summer reading as a family. We read separately, but then we do an activity together as a family for each month. So we just started this last year. We've been doing it again this summer. So we have to read 30 minutes, 5 days a week, me and my husband included. And then we do some sort of family activity at the end. Instead of here's a little prize that's gonna get broken or thrown away, or I'm gonna wanna throw it away right away. We do something together that's like more of an experience and more meaningful. And so it's gonna be a little tricky here with a baby. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna make it work. We might have to do some more simplified things. But for June, we went to a lake that's an hour away from our house and just kind of spent the day there, let them play. And then we always go get milkshakes because that's what they're known for. And so we went and got milkshakes. I love the raspberry lime milkshake. That's my favorite. And so we did that and just had a fun like family day playing at the lake. So I don't know what we're gonna do because like I said, we're finishing July right now. Excuse me, my oldest said, well, you're gonna have a baby. That's the reward for reading for the month of July. So I don't know if that'll be the case. Maybe we'll just like try to do a special dinner or a special treat or something simple that we can do while with a newborn and me recovering from having a baby. So we'll see what it ends up being. And then obviously we have to figure out August as well. Last year we did like a big swimming pool day, and we went to a restaurant that my kids have really been wanting to go to that is more expensive, that we usually just don't do that kind of stuff. So, you know, we kind of try to find things that we can do as a family that will be a good experience for everyone and that we can do together, because that's kind of the point. Okay, so that is my summer school recap for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful, give you an idea of maybe what was useful for us, what we actually did, what we didn't. And again, especially with summer, you make plans, but they're also not solidified because things change so much. There's a lot of activities going on, there's family things going on, and it's just hard to be as consistent as we are during the normal school year. So I wanted to show like this is real life. This is what we actually are able to accomplish, especially with me being pregnant and not feeling great, and then having a toddler. Like it's just a little bit crazy sometimes. But I was glad for what we got done. I felt like we learned a lot, had a good time together, and I like keeping my mind learning and kind of fresh with those kind of things. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.